Alright, gonna have to make this quick. I'm behind as enough as it is. So these are going to be short reviews all in one. Alright, Prometheus, Life and Fire. I'm sorry, Life and Death from Dark Horse. It's the conclusion of the Prometheus crossover that has to do with the engineers, basically. It's going to be a crossover between Aliens, Predator, and Engineers. The storyline is very good. The artwork is very nice. It's a little low key for the most part. I mean, it's not a lot of violence, not a lot of action going on for the most part. It has a little bit of action, but like I said, it's setting it up for the next chapter, which would involve aliens. I like the cover. You see the engineer with the big gun on the shoulder. I'm sorry, on the hill and everything. He's going after colonial marines. But for the most part, it's a good book. So that's that for this one. Let's keep on going, guys. All right. So I'm just gonna get a stack of books and go on. All right, here we go. Earth 2 Society. Basically, is this the last stand for the book? Basically, you never know. It's supposed to be continuing on for a while, so this isn't the last issue by any means. It's the final fight with the Ultra Humanite, which is an Earth 2 bad guy. So he's been, taking on the heroes and everything, or the Wonders as they're called. I do like the series itself, how it basically goes on to the Earth 2, and it has a different set of heroes and different people that looked, it's just a alternate Earth for the most part. Alternate character. They're all named the same for the most part, but they're all alternate characters, alternate versions of themselves. I like the artwork by Hernandez, and Abnett is a very good writer. So I love how the Ultra Humanite is not just some base villain. He's been around for a good 80, 90 years. So, so he's a very interesting villain because he uses mind control and he's got the strength of an ape and everything to that effect. But very good series. Hopefully it's continuing to be on. All right, let's go to Deathstroke. All right then. Basically, Deathstroke is a continuing series from the Rebirth. It's looks what it is apparently is that he's trying to find out who kidnapped Wintergreen, and they're trying to find. It also has to do with his daughters and his daughter and his sons that he doesn't, or his daughter anyway, that it doesn't seem to know about. But overall, the series is pretty good. Priest is a very good writer. He came over from Black Panther. Hama is a great artist. He's one of the better artists in the field. Overall, the storyline looks like it's progressing pretty well. So hopefully, like I said, I like the old Deathstroke, so hopefully it'll be better. All right. Who's next? Red Hood and the Outlaws. Whatever you do, don't call Artemis Princess. Basically, Scott Lobel is writing Red Hood and the Outlaws. He's taken over from what he did before. The artwork by Soy is very good, very bright and vibrant. You can see the action flash out and everything like that. Artemis has always been an interesting character, so to speak. She's from the same island as Wonder Woman, but she's not Wonder Woman, and she'll make sure that she lets you know. Red Hood is basically conflicted as to, he's basically a bad guy who's an undercover bad guy working for Batman. But overall the storyline looks like it's progressing really well. He's working Black Mask. But I hope them to get along better because it'll be an interesting dichotomy between the two of them. The last page basically sets it up for a new turn, so we'll see what happens there. The Flash. Apparently everybody knew who Godspeed was. I'm not going to say it just because, but I didn't really know for the most part. I kind of figured it was one particular person, but I didn't know. For the most part, Barry, the best thing about the series, or the best thing about this particular book, is the flashback of Barry. I won't give too much detail, but it's a very great flashback, and it harks back to the days when he was around a while back. Overall, it's a good book. I've never been a Flash fan until recently. Williamson is a great writer. Chiamanico is a good artist. I loved his, where the lightning and everything flows against everybody who's running and everything to that effect. It's great artwork and everything. Like I said, Williamson is a great writer so far. Hopefully, like I said, this series will progress as good as it will be. All right, let's go, guys. Okay, the only reason I'm rushing is because right now I have school and I really don't have a lot of time to do these reviews, so I'm going to do them all at once. Batman Detective Comics. If you'll notice the cover, you'll notice somebody. If you haven't been reading, then I'm not going to really spoil it. Basically, it does set up the Rebirth. It goes back to the Hark harking of Rebirth, it looks like. So basically, I mean, it has to do with the final stand with Batwoman's father. And from there, I mean, there are consequences. There are always going to be consequences. Again, I do like the fact that Clayface is in the book because he's always been a bad guy, and now they're making him into a somewhat anti-hero for the most part, and he's working pretty well. Orphan, or basically Batgirl in this version anyway. Cass Orphan is basically as she is known now. I mean, she's a very good fighter and everything. Spoilers in here where they have more for her than just making her a teen or a let's see, the word I'm looking for is like just a fangirl sidekick. You know, she's actually a sidekick to Batman and to Batwoman, so she knows that, you know, they take her serious and all that. Well, for the most part, anyway. Let's see, Batgirl Birds of Prey has to do with Oracle. Someone is hijacking Oracle's, or Barbara Gordon's Oracle moniker and using it against them. I do like the friendship or collaboration these three have. Basically, it's the same from the original Birds of Prey: Batgirl, Huntress, and Black Canary. Just different versions of the people for the most part. It's a good series. I love the camaraderie. It's pretty funny for the most part. I mean, they look like they love ribbing each other and everything to that effect. It's a good series written by Jackson and Benson. Benson, by both Benson, Jace Benson and S. Benson. Jay Benson is the writer, S. Benson is the artist. Very good series. I like it for the most part. I like I said, basically, I didn't get really into a lot of these books until the New 52 came out, and then I'm just following them through with Rebirth. Doom Patrol. World's Strangest Heroes returned. I was wondering when a Doom Patrol book would come. This is part of the Young Animals storyline. Basically, it's a variant storyline, kind of like Vertigo for the most part. Doom Patrol has always been one of those groups that has been, they're a precursor to the X-Men as the strangest heroes in the world. You got Robot Man, the Chief, Larry Trainer, Elastigirl, and all these people. The 80s series was pretty decent. I liked it because it started off okay, hokey dokey, and then when Grant Morrison took over, it just went off the chain after that, when he started writing it. They've had some been real reincarnations in the late 90s and early 2000s, but they really didn't pan out as well. This seems like it's the best direction to go because the Doom Patrol is a weird group, so they need to be into their own adult and mature item. You can't really put them in the regular DC universe. Overall, this is a great book. I love the artwork. It's crazy. It's mad crazy. Gerard Way is a great writer. Nick Darrington, the art is very nice, very Doom Patrolish. If you've read any of the books and stuff like that, and it's just very out there, very bright, everything to that effect. Again, this is a very good. If you haven't picked it up, pick it up. Batman 66 versus Steed and Mrs. Peel. Basically, this is just two series from the 60s that, again, just co-joined to do the book. It was originally a series, but a digital comic, and this is like the live format. I do love it how, you know, it takes all of the essence of both the TV shows, you know, both TV shows, and, you know, brings out the campiness of it. I love all the Batman 66. I've gotten them since all the series and stuff like that. It took me a while to get the special one that had Harley in it, which didn't make sense to me. But basically, like I said, it's a great book to read with the whole 60s vibe to it, the whole 60s campiness of both series. And like I said, if you're a fan, pick it up. All right, now we move into All-Star Batman. All-Star Batman number 2. Basically, Harvey Dent is trying to get some Batman's trying to get Harvey Dent somewhere, and Harvey Dent has put out a hit on Batman, and basically what's going to happen is, you know, it's $1 million or $2 million hit, I can't remember exactly. Like the Romita art, it's dark and gritty, and I've always liked Romita for the most part. I do like the fact that it is, even though the Romita art is dark and gritty, the book itself is not. It's very set in a vibrant and bright area, like out in the countryside in the Midwest. For the most part, you know, like in Kansas or wherever it is. But basically, it's very bright outside, but dark and gritty from Romita is very great. The book itself, I mean, very good. I mean, some people didn't like it, but I mean, I like it for the most part. So we'll see what happens. All right, now we move into Marvel. Old Man Logan, The Last Ronin. Basically, it's a future and the past coming to collide with Logan, the alternate Logan. Like I said, basically, Marvel knew they couldn't kill their puppy off too long, so they decided to bring back the old Logan, which, it's money. But I mean, the artwork is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very reminiscent of, Sorrentino's very dark. I mean, very gritty, almost like a Mark Texeira kind of gritty, but not as much. But I mean, it's along those lines. Lemire, the storyline seems pretty good. It's like it's harking back to Logan's old days or Logan's future, which is our past right now. Um, and it has Lady Deathstrike and everything to that effect. So, I mean, it's a very good book for the most part. I hear it's supposed to be ending soon, but I mean, hopefully it'll end out with a bang. All right, next book, Star Wars Force Awakens. We're not really going to talk much about this. Basically, if you've seen the movie, you know what the book is about. It's basically following the book. It's basically following the movie pretty well. So there's maybe a few scenes here that are deviated, but overall, it's following the book. All right, Deadpool Civil War. Don't know what this really has to do with Civil War. He's not really in it that much for the most part. I mean, he does have, right now, he's having problems with his wife, Shikla. If you saw last issue or read last issue, you know what I'm talking about. But I mean, right now he is currently hanging out with Rogue, so it's pretty cool. They're trying to bond or whatever. So, but overall, it's a comedy book, so I mean, you can't really take it serious as much. All right. Civil War 2. Now, this book, Spider-Man 2099, this book is definitely affected by Civil War. Miguel has been thrown into the future where the Civil War has changed the future to where people with powers are strictly regulated, or they're no longer allowed for the most part. It doesn't really have Miguel in it as much as you would think. I mean, it has everybody else, a lot of other side characters. The very last panel is very interesting because of who the individual is. I'm not going to spoil that for you, but overall, I mean, I do like excuse me, and I do like David's writing and Sliney's art. It's very good and everything to that effect. I would recommend this book if you haven't picked it up yet. I mean, it's not necessarily a Civil War book, so you don't really have to pick it up if you're getting. It's basically it can be a good standalone book. Okay, and finally Gwenpool. Basically with Miles Morales, Hastings Strachowski, Hastings the writer, Strachowski's the art. For the most part, it's a Gwenpool book. I mean, I love how they do the way she talks differently than everybody else. But for the most part, I mean, she is a bad guy. So, I mean, Miles Morales finally understands that. Overall, the book itself is, it's on par. It's not really a Civil War book as it implies, but it's more of like Gwen trying to establish herself as a mercenary for the most part. It'd be interesting to see if she crosses over with the Deadpool people or Deadpool or the Mercs, and would be kind of interesting to see that, just to see what happens, because she doesn't really have any powers. She just knows who everybody is. That's it for this week. This was supposed to go last week. It was supposed to be September 14th. But again, I've been busy with school, so hopefully I'll try to get these on time earlier. Maybe I'll just do one whole review shot. All right, guys, any questions, any comments, leave it there.